Namaste, I'm Satvika from Hyderabad. So in this video, I would like to discuss about World Trade Organization (WTO) and also some of its principles and some of its exceptions to be followed by member nations. And also, I would like to discuss some of the main terms, that is market economy, non-market economy, and anti-dumping duties, countervailing duties, and safeguarding measures. I would like to explain about all these terms in detail here. So, firstly, let me give a brief description about WTO, World Trade Organization. So, this is an organization which completely aims for providing free trade among the countries or among the member nations of WTO. So, it has imposed some rules and regulations to be followed by member nations of WTO for smooth trade in goods. Now, I would like to explain about few main and important principles to be followed by WTO members. So, the first one comes to binding tariffs. It's a important term, binding tariffs. It is also known as bound tariff rates. So, this binding tariff is nothing but treating or providing equal tax to all our trading partners. Uh, that means, for example, like suppose we are imposing 30% tax on China, then if we can't impose 15% tax on Japan, 20% tax on America, so this kind of negligence should not be there. We have to treat all the countries equally, provide them equal tax for all the countries. This is binding tariff rates. And the second important principle is that whatever the imported goods are there, whatever the goods we import from other countries, we have to treat them equally as that of our domestic goods. Like for suppose if we keep 15% tax on our domestic goods, then the same amount of tax should be applied for the other country goods. Okay. This is equal imposition of taxes or equal treatment. Whatever the rules and regulations we impose on domestic goods, as per domestic rules and regulations, the same should be applied for imported goods also. So this is one of the main principle to be followed by member nations of WTO. Now there are some exceptions. That means there are few cases in which there is no need to follow these above said rules. Now let us see those exceptions. The first one is anti-dumping duties. That means whenever a country exports goods at an unfairly low price, then the imported country can apply anti-dumping duties on the exporting country. So, for this, I'll give an example. Um, Now, say for suppose in China, 1 ton of iron, the cost of 1 ton of iron is say 1,000 rupees. Now, the China is exporting the same 1 ton of iron to India, but for the cost of just 900 rupees only. So that means it is just dumping. It is providing the goods at very low prices. So many people can ask, if it is providing goods at low prices, it is beneficial for us. Consumers, the customers will can easily afford purchasing those. Yes, but it has long-term effects too. That means our local domestic goods or domestic industries may completely shut down. If our domestic industries get shut down, then what consequences will be there? We will have to completely depend on other countries for all the goods. Now see, all the steel or iron factories got shut down and we have to depend on China. Now slowly as the years pass, what will happen? Maybe the China government can increase, all of a sudden it can increase the prices for very high rates. Then we will be suffering very badly in the long term and long days to come. So our domestic industries are in trouble and we will face many sufferings. So for this, WTO has allowed WTO members to impose anti-dumping duties on the exporting countries, which offer goods at low prices than that of their countries. So anti-dumping duties, that means we can keep restrictions, or we can impose high taxes abound this binding tariffs so as to protect our domestic industries too. Now, a second exception is that countervailing duties. Now, what is countervailing duties? It comes that countervailing duties should be imposed on other countries when they are giving subsidies to their country goods. You see, if any country, if highly developed country, if it is providing subsidies for their domestic industries or any businesses, providing subsidies may include like providing free electricity, or providing free water, or providing loans without interest. If such subsidies are being provided by government to the industries, then the industries will offer goods at cheap rates, and then as a consequence of that, the goods will become more competitive in the importing countries. So even in such cases, the importing countries, the domestic industries of importing countries will be in trouble. So in order to avoid such consequences, we can keep countervailing duties on the exporting country. But a question may arise that shouldn't any government provide subsidies for their country industries or goods? Obviously, they can provide, but not all the countries. Only the undeveloped countries, or in the least developing countries, can provide subsidies to their country goods, but not highly developing countries and not even the developed countries. They cannot provide goods they cannot provide subsidies for the goods. If any country provides subsidies, then we can keep countervailing duties as per the principles or exceptions of the WTO. Next, the third one comes to safeguarding measures. Safeguarding measures include, it's an emergency action to be taken, and whenever we import a particular good for more products, if we import more products of a particular good, then the amount of that quantity increase, and that quantity supplying business may be in trouble. So in such cases, we can impose some just temporary restrictions. We can remove some concessions or import high taxes even beyond the binding tariffs. So that is safeguarding measures. So all these measures aim at providing some safety measures for our domestic industries. So that is the purpose of all these exceptions. So this is one thing. And now I'll be discussing briefly about market economy and non-market economy. What is a non-market economy? Non-market economy country is a country in which the factors of production like land, labor, organization, technology, or some investments, and all these are directly or indirectly under the control of government. So that is non-market economy. So an example of this non-market economy is China. Now if you see market economy, in market economy countries, all the factors of production will be changing. The price of goods or anything will be changing as per marketing status. That means as per supply and demand, they will be changing. Government will not be completely involving into this. So example of these countries are India, USA, many of the countries in Europe, and there are many countries for market economy countries. Now if you see in China, China being a non-market economy, all the banks are under communist parties. And China will have to, China government only will decide the price of goods and for which businesses land should be provided or loans should be provided. All these changes will be under the control of government only. So that is non-market economy. So China being a non-market economy, it is facing lot of problems. So the main problems involved are, if we see the previous WTO exception of anti-dumping duties, uh, China will be changing the prices of goods at any moment it want. So it allows, WTO allows investigating authorities to neglect the prices of goods which it show. It can show any price. So whenever the investigating authorities investigate China, the China government will be showing some false or wrong prices of goods. So that's why WTO told to neglect the Chinese prices and other things. So in that case, there are many chances of imposing high anti-dumping duties on the products of on the importing products of China. So this is how China have to face many high taxes from many countries. Now previously, if you see historically, China joined the World Trade Organization in December 2001. After many negotiations that China should be treated as non-market economy only for 15 years, that is till December 2016. But now we are in 2020. So China is demanding or asking WTO and the member nations of WTO to treat China as a market economy country and remove all restrictions like anti-dumping duties should not be imposed on China. So it has been saying like this. But there is no country of WTO, including India, America, and many other countries are not accepting China as a market economy, because in these 15 years China didn't improve anything, or it didn't show any progress regarding to prove itself as a market economy, and that's why we are still treating it as non-market economy. So this is some historic point of view of market economy and non-market economy. And if you see in recent times, the relationships between India and China has weakened, and the trade there is trade deficit. That means the products or the cost of the products which we import is more than which we export. So that is called trade deficit. We are in trade deficit. We are importing more goods than that of we are exporting. So that's it. So this is how market economy, non-market economy, and all other principles have been involved. Thank you.